أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم. Daawah Funding. Daawah is the calling of people to the path of Allah. It is the means of uplifting the religion of Allah. Daawah include delivering of lectures, building of mosques and madrasa, and the maintenance of life and living of the da'i. A da'i is a person who calls people to the religion of Allah. Daawah cannot be done properly except with funds. Funds are sources and the resources needed to enhance Daawah. Without funds, Daawah will be very difficult for every da'i. In Nigeria, every Islamic scholar stands on their own and struggling alone in their Daawah. There is no usually support from the government or from the richest, or from the individuals or any members of the religion. It takes a lot of strength for all scholars to build their mosques, their madrasa, and even to get their lecture instrument. Which include the public address, mic, chairs, and other things needed to deliver lecture. To maintain their life in terms of clothing, feeding, and caring for their families. Islam has made funding of the path of Allah compulsory for all the richer Muslims through two legal sources, which are zakat and sadaqah. But today, many wealthy Muslims of Nigeria had failed to give out their zakat and sadaqah. Or let me say, zakat and sadaqah are not properly given out to the proper needies. Some groups and society now organize for collection of zakat and sadaqah from their members and from some rich Muslims, but they use the zakat and sadaqah on their own issues and shared among their members. Or let me say, their leaders made their wealth from the zakat and sadaqah collected. Some Muslim brothers have access to funds from some Islamic countries, e.g. Saudi Arabia, Medina, Misr, and others, but they kept all the money they collected for themselves. Ask many of them, ask them, how did they become rich? Ask them, how did they become rich? How did they became millionaires? Ask them. They have access to funds from outside countries. They collected the funds and make it to themselves. The other scholars who don't have access to outside funds or to outside money also created other source for themselves to fund their dawah, which include the following: organizing walima in their madrasa in order to fund their dawah and other programs such as Maulud and other programs. But surprisingly, the brothers that have access to funds from outside the country call them thieves, and they also call them Ahlul-Bidah. And they never created for them any other means of getting funds to facilitate their dawah. Or they have never given them from what they are collecting internationally. They never given them anything to facilitate their dawah, and still they call them thieves and Ahlul-Bidah. Is this proper? My own advice for the rich Muslims in Nigeria is that they should know that Allah had promised bounty reward for any person who spent his wealth to the path of Allah. So my advice for them is that they should help any scholar, any alpha that is propagating Islam around them. You should know that you have the right to help and support them because of what you are having. Your wealth is to support the path of Allah. Help any scholars around you. Help them to build their mosques. Help them to fund their madrasa. Some madrasas are not having desks and chairs. Help them to provide chairs and desks. Ask the scholars what they needed in their madrasa. Help the mosques. Many mosques today took a lot of years before it can be finished. Help all the scholars around you, not only to build their mosques or to buy things for them in their madrasa, but you should also provide what they need in terms of clothing, feeding, and taking care of their families. All these are the responsibility of the rich Muslims for the scholars, for the alphas around them. Pay your zakat yearly and also pay your sadaqah regularly. Zakat is yearly, while sadaqah is often. You continue to give sadaqah whenever you have the ability and the capacity. You give it to the needy. Look around you. You see people that need your help. This is my advice for all rich people, all rich Muslims in Nigeria. Don't give your zakat under a group or a set or a society that will personalize it for themselves. Look around you. You shall find whom your zakat and sadaqah are due to. Help the poorer Muslims. Many Muslims are suffering, and we have many rich Muslims among us. To help one another is very difficult for the Muslims. Help the Muslims around you. The poorer Muslim, help them. And Allah will surely help you too. If you help those that need your help, Allah will also help you. Allah said, "In tansurullaha yansurkum." When you help Allah, Allah will surely help you. Can you help Allah? You cannot help Allah. You help those that need help from you, and that means you have support Allah in His work. You have helped Allah to provide what Allah want to provide for them through you. And Allah will surely bless and also reward you after this life. My name is Bashir Abdurrahman Oni Ar-Rahmani. Ma salam.